What's going on, people? I just wanted to kind of follow up with the last video I made about dieting. I did have a couple questions. A couple people messaged me, asked me what macros were, what your macros are for the day. What that means is it's a combination of fats, carbs, and proteins. Those are kind of what make up your diet. So people are kind of wondering how they set them up, what the use of carbs are for, what the use of fats are for. So I'm going to go into it and kind of break them down and kind of help you kind of give some ratios that's worked for me. This is all from experience or people that I've worked with. I'm just relaying the information. So hopefully this stuff can help you a little bit and be able to make your own diet and maybe live a little bit healthier. What I wanted to touch on was we'll start with protein. Protein is actually, it helps you build muscle, helps recovery, helps with muscle loss. It actually will keep you fuller longer, like gram for gram, compared to that like of a fat or a carb. So sometimes when you're trying to snack, maybe grabbing something like a piece of chicken or some sort of like lean fish is going to be one of your better snacks than that of a like carb or fat. So like kind of some good protein sources are going to be lean steaks. You can eat sirloins, flank steaks, London broils, stuff like that's going to be phenomenal. Red meat, lean chicken breast, turkey breast, turkey burger. Leaner the better. 93.7 is pretty decent. You can also do some dairy, like eggs, stuff like that, and protein shakes. That's going to be like a good, different sources of protein. Ideally, that's going to be one of your most crucial pieces because that is what is going to, help your body recover and keep you from losing any sort of muscle that you may have gained. Which you want to keep your muscle mass regardless of losing or if you were trying to gain. The next one I'll go into is going to be fats. Fats are crucial for many reasons, and a lot of people pull them out completely, which is you don't want that at all. Fats actually help with vitamin absorption, hormone regulation, helps with brain function. Some different examples of like healthier fats are going to be avocados, lean red meats. Again, those are going to have some healthy fats in them. Almonds, fattier fish like salmon is good. Almond butter, natural peanut butter, macadamia nut oil, olive oil, stuff like that. Those are going to be crucial as far as healthy fats go. The third is going to be carbohydrates. Carbs are one of your main energy sources. They are stored in the blood. They're stored in glycogen, which is from your muscles. They're stored in your muscles as glycogen, I should say. I'm sorry. They're stored in your liver, your brain. They're kind of stored a little bit everywhere, and they're your main energy source. So those are crucial. A lot of people like to do low carb diets, but you can cut your carbs down and just monitor them, but there's still a great source of energy. Good carbs are going to be oatmeal, brown rice, sweet potatoes, whole grains like pastas, wheat bread, stuff like that's going to be a great source of carbs. So those are the three essential macros. That's what everybody calculates and kind of does their diet off of. So one of the things I wanted to go into was different ratios. I made a couple notes just so I didn't forget to touch on these things. Ratios to me are the easiest way to produce a diet for yourself, whether you want to gain weight, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to maintain, whatever it may be. The way I always do it is I will set myself as a goal. So we're going to start first with the most popular one, which would be weight loss. I usually use like a 3-2-1 ratio. Once again, this is what's worked for me. I'm just sharing information that's worked for me, and hopefully it helps others. 3-2-1 ratio means 3 is going to be protein, 2 is going to be carbs, 1 is going to be fat. What I mean by that, so let's say I have a goal weight of 200 pounds. I'm dropping down from 220, and I want to be 200 pounds. This is a 200-pound male. It can be female too. You just have to do the math for yourself. So if you're a 200-pound, you want to be a 200-pound male, you're 220. So the 3 in the ratio, 3-2-1, 3 is going to be your protein. So if you're 200 pounds, you want to have 200 grams of protein. So you're going to have the exact same gram of protein that you want your body weight to be. The carbs are going to be, you're going to times what you want your goal weight. So you'll times 200 by 0.66, which is actually 2/3 of what you want your body weight to be. So that's where the 2 comes in the 3-2-1. So if you were to calculate this, 200-pound man would need 132 grams of carbs approximately. And then the 1 is going to be 1/3 of the body weight, which is going to be the fat. So that's where the 1 comes from in the 3-2-1. That you would times your body weight that you want, so it'd be 200 grams times 0.33, which is 1/3. And you're going to get 66 fats. Now that's an approximate. This is a kind of a system that is almost foolproof for the most part. It will definitely help you lose weight. It's definitely going to help you keep your muscle mass. Because ideally you want to have 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you want your weight to be. That'll help you sustain. So that's why you have if you want to be 200 pounds, have 200 grams of protein, have 132 carbs, have 66 grams of fats, and that is where you're going to help you drop weight that you normally would. Now you got to be careful with, like on any of these diets, anything over and above that, that's where you're going to have problem losing weight. So if you have an extra bagel in the morning, or you start snacking on stuff, that's where a lot of times where you're going to have problems losing weight. So like I said, I'm just trying to give these ratios to kind of give everybody an idea on how to set a diet up. So, and then the other end of the spectrum, I'm going to explain how to gain weight. Now, a lot of guys out here, they say, hey, I eat enough, man, I eat a lot, blah, blah, blah. I hear it all the time. So what the ratio that worked for me last year, I gained probably about 15 solid pounds, this is for a 200-pound man again. Like, say you're coming up from, let's say 175, you want to be 200 pounds. Like I said, this is the ratio I use for a 200-pound male. To gain weight, you want to be 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you want to weigh 200 pounds, you need to eat 400 grams of protein. Carbs are going to be 3 to 4 times your goal body weight. So if your goal body weight is 200 pounds, you want to eat 600 to 800 grams of carbs. Carbs are essential for muscle fullness, for helping add that extra energy to push through those grueling workouts. It is going to be very, very essential to keep your carbs high and still keep them as clean as possible. So using complex carbs are going to be great. You can use some starchier carbs like, baked potatoes, white rice, white pastas, things like that are going to be a little bit starchier, which will actually get your glycogen levels back to where you need them to be. Also, another key point too, post-workout, simple carbs, like I just stated, anything starchier, baked potatoes, stuff like that, even Gatorade. Simple carbs actually stimulate the insulin hormone. Insulin will actually counteract your cortisol hormone, which is actually one of the leaders of muscle breakdown, which anybody knows, like, cortisol is catabolic. So anybody knows what catabolic means. It's pretty much your muscles eating itself. So when you have simple carbs post-workout, that can actually stimulate that insulin, and it will actually keep your cortisol levels lower so that you don't end up eating, continuing to eat that muscle away. So, having a Gatorade, having like 50 grams in simple carbs post-workout is great. You can do that on diet too, just got to be careful. 20 to 30 grams of simple carbs post-workout is kind of like, that's going to be the highest I would probably go when you're trying to cut weight. But like I said, right now we're talking about gaining. So we would keep that, 6 to 800 carbs a day. So 3 to 4 times your body weight. And fats would be, I usually go 0.75 grams to 1 gram of your body weight. So on a 200-pound man, you'd be looking at about 150 to 200 grams of fats a day. So that breakdown is going to be, like I said, for a 200-pound man to gain weight with that ratio, you're looking at 400 grams of protein, 6 to 800 grams of carbs, and 150 to 200 grams of fats. This is very similar to what I did this past off season. I actually was doing 800 carbs, 450 protein, and roughly about 2 to 2.25 of fats. It worked for me. A lot of the pros do this. A lot of people that even just want to gain weight can actually utilize this. A lot of people just are, really lean and they just want to gain some weight. This can actually work. This will work for guys and girls. Girls, you just have to do the ratios to what you want. You probably wouldn't go as drastic. So a lot of girls don't want to gain weight, so that's why I don't really touch on that. Mostly it's the guys that are asking me like, hey, how do I gain weight, man? And stuff like that. So that's the reason why I wanted to make this video. I really hope this kind of can help you out. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this clarified a lot of stuff on what macros are, how fats are important, how carbs are important, how protein is important. Like I said, if you have any questions, this was just an example of how to set a diet up. Once again, this is what's worked for me. So I'm hoping that, some of you guys can take some benefit from this and utilize it for yourself. There's one other quick thing I wanted to touch on, which was another, what I call is almost like a carb cycle, kind of carb cycle, fat cycle, which is actually to help you lose weight. Again, I'm sorry I'm going back on this. I forgot to touch base on it. What that is going to be like I'm doing right now for my show. One day I'll do, all my protein's going to be the same. So like for a 200-pound man, you would do 200 grams of protein. And then, so like every other day, so let's say today's Thursday. So let's say like tomorrow you're going to do fats tomorrow. So your fats, you would actually times what your goal weight is. So it's 200 pounds times 0.5. So you would get 100 grams of fat, which you would do that every other day. So you would do that Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, you get it. Now the other days, so if you're going to do your fats on Fridays, that means you have no carbs. Now on Saturday, which would be the next day, instead of doing fats, you would actually do carbs. And I times my carbs by 0.75 of what I want my body weight to be. So for 200-pound male, you're going to actually times it by 0.75. So you're actually going to get to 150 grams of carbs that day and no fats. Then the next day you would go back to the fats, and the next day you'd go back to your carbs. I do that every other day. It helps me drop a little bit better, a little bit quicker, and it keeps me a lot tighter. There are days you're going to feel a little run down from not having the extra carbs or the extra fats, but your body will actually adjust to it for the most part, and you'll still have energy to get through your days. You're just going to feel a little bit more run down because you're not going to have all the extra fats and carbs. So that is another way of trying to drop some weight. So hopefully that helps as well. That's more of like a carb cycle. The other one is just kind of a base diet where you keep your protein, your carbs, and your fats the same every day. So hopefully one of those two will work for the people out there trying to lose weight. Any questions, please get a hold of me. Message me. I will respond to anything that you guys post. Thanks again. Hope that helps. And I will be making more videos. Hopefully you guys are interested. I have some coming up on supplements as far as like amino acids, protein, pre-workouts, diet pills, etc. So thanks for following my page, and I will keep you guys up to date with what's going on. Thanks.